Hello and welcome to my channel and to week 3 of the September 2019 Room of the Month Challenge hosted by Heidi Sonboul. I will link Heidi's channel as well as the other creators participating in my description box below. For my Room of the Month Challenge, I decided to redo a bedroom into a bedroom/craft room. For my sneak peek, I'm going to give you a little bit of a thrifted decor tour, showing you some of the items I've found recently and how I've incorporated them into the decor of this room, as well as use things that I already had. If you like this kind of content, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And as always, find me on Instagram at Nicole North Garden. Here we go. So today is sneak peek day into my bedroom craft room makeover. But before I give you any other sneak peeks, I wanted to give you a sneak peek into what is actually happening here. You can see this is the bed without any bedding. The bedding I was originally going to order stopped being sold. The next one sold out. So I found something else. It just hasn't gotten here yet, and hopefully that will be a nice replacement. We also don't have our box spring yet. Hopefully we get that this weekend, and all of this gets resolved hopefully before the big reveal, or I'm going to need to get creative. Since this is a small bedroom, it's hard to give sneak peeks without revealing the entire room. So for my sneak peek week, I decided to give you a little thrifted tour of the ways I've used some of the thrifted items that I've purchased recently and incorporated them with things that I have to decorate this room. The first area I want to show you is the area behind the door on the wall, since this is what you'll probably see most often when I film in here. This first piece I picked up at a thrift store at least 2 years ago, and it always reminds me of a place I'd like to go and sit and relax because of the flowers and the wicker. This chalkboard I got from a friend. It was hers when she was a little girl, and I've written on it, "Be kind," because I think in any situation we can always be kind. So those are kind of my words to live by. And the butterflies, you remember the cool story, I found 2 of them at a thrift store and then received more of them from one of my viewers. And I just thought it was so cool and such a connection that she sent me something that I had already chosen for myself. Just really neat. And this last piece on this wall, I don't normally hang things this low, but that is just at the right level for my camera when I'm filming, and I wanted to have something there that was cute to look at. So I made this from an old fruit crate that I found in the bins. It was kind of busted up on one side, but the other side was perfectly fine. So my hubby and I took the board off the side, and I attached 2 knobs using screws and then put some eye hooks in the top of it. And then I used some ribbon from some packages that I received from a subscriber, and I hung some frames that I picked up, one at the Goodwill bins and the other one at a yard sale. For the artwork, I just used a vintage card that I had. I know it says Happy Easter, but I don't care. I love the chickies, and the little birdhouse is perfectly fitting for me. I got that from a garage sale. In this next little area, I used this bird hook that I also got at a garage sale. I painted it white. It was black, but that made it easy to distress. And I hung on the hook 2 aprons. One is a vintage apron that I received as a gift, and the other one is an apron that I rescued from the bins that I actually wear for crafting to keep my clothes from getting dirty. I made the pieces of artwork above the bird hook several years back. I framed pages from a French-English dictionary. One is the page about nature and the other about flowers, and then I used stickers from the Dollar Tree to decorate the pages. And last but not least in this little area is the poster on the back of the door. It's of vintage cameras because my daughter and I both love old cameras. I found this in the bins. I can't believe it wasn't bent or ripped. Next to the bed, I hung the picture that my daughter had previously had hanging in here, the black and white floral photograph. And then I used this chalkboard that I got at a rummage sale and repainted. And then I used this window pane mirror that my daughters previously had hanging in their room when they shared a room. It was green, and I painted it this lovely blue color. I found this boxwood wreath at the bins and I attached it to the mirror with a ribbon. This is one of my favorite ways to decorate right now. I just think it's so simple and pretty. The shelves above the bed are two of the shelves that I remade last week. And I wanted these shelves to have things that would be special to both me and to my daughter because I know she'll be spending a lot of her time in this area of the room. On the top shelf, I have a scale that I recently found, along with a doily and a watering can. The clock is from our dear friend Amy over at Wipe Lab House, and I dry brushed it to make it look a little bit whiter. This sweet vintage deer planter I found at a thrift store earlier this season. This is a Dollar Tree milk jug, which I painted and placed on top of this vintage Pyrex that I found. And that little bell I also found at a thrift store this season. I really enjoyed incorporating bits of that turquoise color that I love with pink. This next shelf contains items that are very special to both me and to my children. I got these two little willow tree girls when my oldest daughters, Maddie and Molly, were little. It's always reminded me so much of how they used to play together. I was given this figurine of a mama holding her son when my boy was little, and someone gave me this mama holding a baby when my daughter Hannah was born. So on this shelf are represented me and my 4 children. I've placed the two little willow tree girls into this vintage jewelry box that I got earlier this season. I plan to use this jewelry box differently around Christmas time, but for now I thought it was a nice place for these little girls to go. With them on the shelf are a pretty glass knob that I found at the Goodwill outlet bins, as well as this candle holder, which I added feet to. But the most special thing on the shelf is probably this tea set holder. Now I found the holder at the bins, but the teacups belong to 3 generations. So this one is my pattern, this was my mother's pattern, and then I happen to have 2 of my grandmother's saucers. These were not her original china, but these were the china I remember her using when I was a kid. So here on this teacup holder are represented 3 generations of our family. The last area I will include in this week's sneak peek is my grandmother's vanity. I'll show the vanity in its entirety next week, but for now I'm going to show you this center shelf. This tin recipe box with the dancing elephants was found at a yard sale. I think it's so funny, and it kind of inspired the color scheme in this room. I was later told that there might be a secondary meaning to the pink elephants, but I was not aware of that meaning when I purchased it. I love this little container with the spider plant baby. This is one of my own spider plant babies. Spider plants you can basically neglect, so I thought it might do fine here on this shelf out of direct sun. I rescued some of these angels from the bins and received the patriotic angel on the left from one of my subscribers. I found that pink planter early on. I was going to put a plant in it, but I thought the angel looked so cute sitting in it. And then I found this little stork planter a few weeks ago at St. Peter Thrift. I know it's for babies, but I just love the color, and I've placed some of my succulent pieces into it. I think that they might do okay, even though there's not a lot of sun. I've set that on top of another tin recipe box. This is definitely one of my new collections. That's all that I have for you today in my sneak peek of my bedroom craft room makeover. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've used vintage and family heirlooms to decorate this space. Stay tuned next week for the big reveal. I'll give you a full tour of the room and how I've organized my craft supplies. Until then, thanks for watching.